Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Sir, with regard to better price realization for agricultural produce, we have a system in place called MSP. We also know that MSP is not effective in giving better price realization to farmers across India. There are some lacunae in the MSP system itself. So how do we correct it? And if at all there is a question like should MSP be legalized in India, how do we go about that question, sir?
Yeah, the first thing is yes, we have a minimum support price which is notified by the government for 25 commodities. MSP is what is called a minimum support price. And this is based on the cost of production calculated by the CACP, Commission on Agriculture Costs and Prices. So cost of production less a margin of profit added to it becomes the MSP. So now government in 2018 took a decision that the margin of profit shall be minimum 50% of the cost of production. That means if the cost of production calculated by CSCP is 100 rupees per quintal, a minimum of 50 rupees are added to that to make it the MSP. This does not mean that government cannot give more than 50% margin of profit. It gives. Today, for example, wheat, the margin of profit is 109% of the cost of production. Most pulses have an average of 65%. So just know so much that MSP is nothing but cost of production plus the margin of profit given by the government and notified every season. The purpose of MSP is to serve as a price signal. Since the MSP is notified before the cropping season, it gives an indication to the farmers as to what prices could be prevailing in the market, and therefore they will decide what to grow and what not to grow. The second purpose of MSP system is what is called procurement operations. Procurement operations mean if the farmers are not getting the MSP price in the markets, then government will intervene to procure. Now, as you rightly said, that procurement has not been effective across the country. Procurement has mostly been effective in case of wheat and paddy. Since wheat and paddy are mostly grown in irrigated belts of Punjab, Haryana, Western Uttar Pradesh, and a few states elsewhere, there has been benefit to the farmers growing these crops. On an average, 33% of the total production of wheat and paddy is procured. Now, as regards other crops, pulses, millets, etc., there has been some improvement in the recent years. In the year 2018, government adopted a new scheme called PM Asha. Wheat, paddy, and millets are supposed to be procured by Food Corporation of India, whereas pulses and oilseeds are covered under PM Asha, and PM Asha is operated by NAFED under the Ministry of Agriculture. So we have seen in the last 6 years that the procurement of both pulses and oilseeds has increased substantively, yet it is nowhere near wheat and paddy. And obviously, millets are still not procured very much because FCI expects the state governments to procure and that they will give them necessary support. Now, whether MSP can be legalized, in my opinion, it cannot be legalized, or it should not be legalized. The reasons are, when you say that legalized means that all the commodities have to be procured by the government, or the traders must give a minimum of MSP on their purchases. So now consider the first case, government procuring everything. If government procures everything, what do we do with that? Already, for example, the procurement of wheat and paddy is so much that as against an average norm of 36 million tons of buffer, today it is more than 100 million tons. So when government has to procure and store it for such a long time, there is a storage cost, and then there's a procurement cost because you have to distribute through the PDS at concessional rates. So it becomes unsustainable financially. But more important is that when you procure, where do you consume it? Suppose you sell it into the domestic market, the whole prices, all the prices in the markets will come down. When you are procured at high cost, you cannot export because you are not competitive in the global market. So it is not feasible. Take the second case, where we make it compulsory for the traders to purchase at a minimum cost at par with MSP. If you are a trader, you will purchase because you require it, because you think you can make a profit, and you'll also look at the quality. So when we sort of make it compulsory, it will amount to nationalization. When the trader purchases it, and if he's not able to find markets for his sale, then he will stop purchasing thereafter. Hence, it becomes infeasible. However, what is the way out then? Because our aim is to ensure that farmers get remunerative prices. So the only answer lies in improving the marketing efficiency. We create large number of markets and break the monopoly so that there is good competition and the farmers are able to get better prices through better price discovery. Then we improve the agri-logistics so that farmers can transport their commodities from one place to another in an efficient manner. We give him good storage facilities. We give him access to institutional credit at concessional rate of interest. We improve the export potential. We improve the processing system so that there is greater demand. And once the markets become efficient, the necessity to procure will be lesser. Because MSP, under MSP, the assurance to the farmers is, if you do not get adequate prices in the market or below MSP, then I'll come and purchase. So if we first focus on improving the markets, the price fluctuations will reduce, and therefore the need for government to procure will be lesser. The third reason why MSP should not be made legal or guaranteed is, when we guarantee, then the farmers will start growing that particular crop where they get the highest MSP. Let us say that MSP on sugarcane, for example, is naturally higher than other crops, or wheat and paddy is more than other crops, suppose. Then the farmers will say, all right, let me grow wheat, let me grow paddy, let me grow sugarcane. And then we will not have diversification. We want diversification into horticulture, meat, fish. If there's no diversification there, then how do you meet the nutrition requirement? Minerals are all there. Vitamins are all there. So diversification gets impacted. And when you procure at high rate, you cannot export also. So the optimal situation, that means in the long run, it is neither good for the farmers, nor for the government, nor for the consumers, nor for the ecology. We don't want more paddy. To grow 1 kg of paddy, you require 3,000 or to 5,000 liters of water. Imagine, as it is, India has less of water, and then we use that water to grow paddy because there is better procurement, and then we export that paddy to other countries. Other countries grow more of pulses and send us here. Just imagine the irony. We should be conserving our water. Here we are exporting embedded water. That means when you export paddy, you are actually sending out water from India. And those countries are growing less paddy, they buy it from India and send us pulse and oil seed. So we should be very careful. So on the face of it, it looks very populist, but is it sustainable? So in my view, you should also answer that we should need a blend, proper blend, optimal blend, efficient marketing system, and a robust MSP system. So that MSP based procurement is utilized as a tool to correct the system. If the prices are falling, if government intervenes to procure, then it sucks out the surpluses and therefore the prices will increase. It should be used that kind of that kind of a tool. So that is what is required. And see, because we kept on procuring paddy, wheat, for example, the area under millets has come down. Today, area under millets is around 18 million hectares. It used to be 43 million hectares in 1983. But we should eat more of millets, sorghum, bajra, ragi, because they are nutritionally rich. So, if we want to have a diversified agriculture, we should also give incentives that will promote the farmers to grow those crops. Today, unfortunately, in India, we have more of wheat and paddy, more of sugarcane, all water guzzling crops, less of oil seeds. India requires 26 million tons of edible oils per year. But we are growing only 11, producing only 11 million tons. And because our oil seeds are less. In result, 15 million tons of edible oil we import every year, which costs us 70,000 crores. The same 70,000 crores which is going outside now, if it is given to our farmers, then their incomes will increase. So we are deficit in pulses, deficit in oil seeds, deficit in millets, excess in wheat, excess in paddy, sugarcane. So we need to balance so that the resources or ecology is taken care of. I hope you appreciate that. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.